Hey guys, welcome back to Virtue's Last Reward. Holy shit, has it been a roller coaster? It's a big roller coaster right now. We're on the moon. It's the future. And Kay just espoused all of the information that most of what we already knew, but just kind of catching the rest of the group up now.
Yeah, and also putting it all in one place.
Yes, exactly. A little weird that Kay just suddenly remembered everything, but it's fine. We're not going to question that too hard right now. Most importantly, and the most pressing matter before us, is that the treatment pod has finished defrosting and we're about to discover who's inside.
You ready?
Yeah, I guess so. As ready as I'm ever going to be. Let's just do it.
Shall we open the pod?
Yeah, I think so.
I would love for it to give you an option, be like yes or no.
It's like, I don't think so.
I'm not ready. Yeah, let's do it. Who is in that pod? Who's in the pod?
All of us gathered around the pod. The glass was still covered with frost, hiding the contents.
Okay, let's get started then. Ready?
Vi laid her hand on the lever and looked around at us. I swallowed.
Yeah, anytime.
All right, here we go. 3,
She's counting.
2, 1.
Oh my god, I'm so nervous. It's a boy! I had a feeling it was going to be a boy.
You know?
Hey.
You know?
Oh, wow. I had a feeling, but also my heart is just like going
Well, it's
insane.
also, what
right
the
now.
fuck does this mean? Let's
Yeah,
find
right?
out.
What? Yeah.
Suddenly, my head was full of memories from other timelines. I'd seen something like this before. The warehouse of Floor B, in front of the white door. Kay was lying in front of me. I grabbed his mask and I saw
Yup.
my own face. I'd never figured out who he really was. Why was there a man with my face underneath Kay's armor? It didn't make sense. After I'd seen him, I was injected with tubocurarine, and that was the end of that. But wait. If the person in the pod was the same person I'd seen on the floor of the warehouse,
Clones man, make the connection, please, come on, do it.
who was wearing Kay's armor?
You finally noticed. Didn't I tell you? You won't be alone. I will be at your side, watching over you.
No.
Hey, yo!
Oh my god,
Yes, I am.
is he Zero?
No, who
No.
said that?
Wait, who said that? Oh, Akane. What the fuck?
Akane Koroshiki.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So this is what I said when I was like, I can't believe I forgot. So, Kay acts weirdly in the entire right branch. The whole time. He keeps saying basically word for word things that Akane says. He is off because it's always Akane in the suit in the right branch.
You're right.
It's always Akane. It's Akane all the way down. She's been with us the whole
That's
time.
some bullshit! I don't know why! But what the fuck?
It's been Akane the whole time.
So
Not-
she's been in the she's been in the K suit the whole time.
Only in the right branch.
In this far branch. Yes. Okay. Because she was able to live in the little branch that we jumped
Yep.
back for.
And the big question was, well, where could she be hiding? Well, here's where she could be hiding. In plain fucking sight. Like, she's been right here.
That's exactly right. So she took actual K, little clone K, who's clone Sigma.
Yeah.
And tucked them away in a little pod in the garden, like right at the start.
Yep.
And
And
like
just said, like, hey, you're hanging out here for a little while.
and just did a swapsies with them and played through the AB game or played through the Nonary game with us in this right branch. Are you kidding me? How could I not have seen this?
She even used the same, like, word for word.
She did.
Yeah.
Yes.
The whole way through.
It was weird.
I
That's
was
why-
making faces. Unfortunately, this couldn't be conveyed, but I was making faces the whole, like, description before because she kept slipping up. She kept saying we in certain places where Kay wouldn't have been involved. She kept saying, like, the slingshot metaphor again. She kept
You're
saying, like...
exactly
Yeah,
right.
no, she slipped up a couple times.
You're
I think...
exactly
Not
right.
slipped up.
Oh,
I
and
think she was trying to see if Sigma would figure it out.
And when Kay was expositing, like,
Yeah.
all of that was just, I mean, it's just Akane.
Akane.
Yeah, explaining everything.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
She's so rude. I love her.
Oh my god, she's crazy! I love her, though.
It's you! June! I mean, Akane. From... But you're old.
Yes, that's correct. I haven't spoken to you in a very long time, Clover. Or you, Junpei.
Junpei?
Did you not get it? Come on, Clover, I thought you made the connection.
She probably did, but also this has not been a super long timeline, all things considered.
That's true.
Like,
Junpei would have has revealed his identity to her in other timelines.
Yeah, but maybe not in this one.
Yeah.
Akane, long time no see.
I could barely hear what they were saying. My mind was still reeling. It felt like all the air had been knocked out of me. And it was all I could do not to collapse right then and there.
Yeah.
When? How long?
Do you remember when the two of you saved me in the warehouse?
What's funny is this is just for her one consistent...
Once you saved
Yep.
me, you went back
Yep.
to your future. Well, your minds did, at least. I carried your bodies to the third AB room, and then took Dio's to the fifth.
Yep.
After that, I went into the first room and borrowed Kay's armor.
So by the time you and Clover came out, you'd already...
Yes.
Wait. That doesn't make any sense. Dio killed you, and then Luna took your body to the sixth room. You couldn't have been in Kay's armor.
No, it was me. In this timeline, at least. In this one, I wasn't murdered by Dio. You two saved me. It's just like Schrodinger's cat. Your actions in the future decided who would be inside the armor in the past.
What? No, that's nuts.
Alright, what about the other history? The one where you weren't saved. What happens then? Who's wearing the armor?
That's quite simple. The man in front of you.
Him?
Yes.
That's correct. Whenever I'm not in the armor, he is.
What about the memory loss?
For my part, I confess that I lied. He, on the other hand, was telling the truth. Large doses of soporil can cause memory loss. I gave him a rather large dose.
So, who is he?
Yeah, I was about to say. You wanna... I mean, obviously it's Sigma, but, like...
Then why would Quark ask that?
Yeah. Ah! What?
You've never seen him before?
No.
What about the rest of you?
I have no idea who he is.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
I've never seen him before.
Me either.
Total stranger.
Hey, come on. What are you guys saying? Right here? Same face.
Huh?
We've never seen ourselves. We actually don't know, like, what we look like. Oh my god!
Are you alright, Mr. Sigma? Did you hit your head or something?
Oh my god. Huh? What?
It didn't make any sense. Why didn't they recognize me?
Sigma, your consciousness can jump through time. You can inhabit your body in the past or in the future.
He's in his future body right now. He's just been a dude right now! I mean, he's always a dude, but... Oh my god! Are you kidding me? Oh my god! What does that mean?
Don't you get it? You've jumped to the future from 45 years ago.
Yeah, the body he's in is not the, like, it's his body from 45 years into the future. Like,
Okay, real quick.
what the fuck?
When I say that this particular thing is foreshadowed, holy shit. This is the thing when I say they don't even treat this like a secret. Oh my god.
Really?
I want you
What
all...
about his, like, robo arms? Like, I I mean, like, that's all you see is just his arms. Like, they
Yeah.
never show his body or his face
Nope.
or anything.
They sure don't, do they?
They show his shirt.
You know what's fun? Is how often in this game people call Sigma old. They do it all
Oh,
the
you're right.
time. Dio called him a senile old fuck. Sigma said that he was in college getting his PhD, and Alice laughed and said, "Wow, you must have taken a lot of drugs to look like that at 21."
Whoa!
It's constant. Tenmyoji is always like, "Don't you call me old, I can't stand that," because
You're exactly right.
it's constant.
I
It
think
is
I had called it out
constant.
at one point too, like why are they calling him old? And then Luna calls him doctor at one point, which implies that
It's fucking
yeah,
constant. Every character at some point.
calls him old.
Yeah.
Fuck! I'm like mad at myself that I didn't like make the connection earlier.
There's one other thing about him.
Shit!
There's one other Sigma thing that also is constantly called out. It's mentioned over and over and over again, and I'll mention it in a second.
Okay. Oh, it's you.
A pond. I ran to it and threw myself down onto my knees. Crawling on all fours, I approached the edge. My heart was hammering inside my chest.
Me too!
A cold sweat trickling down my spine. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down, damn it. I struggled to take deep breaths. And slowly, I peered into the pond, looking for my reflection.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other
There
thing
it
that's
is.
constantly called out is people are always questioning his eyesight. Always.
Oh, they
They're always,
are.
yeah, they're like, I don't trust your eyes though, so let me look at it. It's pretty much constant in a lot of puzzles.
God.
They just don't treat this like a secret.
Oh my God.
It's my favorite part of this game.
Jesus.
Oh my God, okay. Alright.
Oh my God. What? No, this can't be real. This face.
It's your face, Dr. Sigma Climb. Although, to the you that's behind it now, it's your face 45 years from now.
Shit.
Zero, the mastermind of the AB project, is you.
Yep. What? No, that's not possible. That's bullshit.
No, it's the truth. Fighting it isn't going to do you any good. Please, Doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
You will be. A pioneer in the field of genetic engineering.
There it is. You're lying.
No, I'm not. You created him. Well, I suppose I should say you are going to create him.
Create?
His name is Kyle Climb, your clone. That is why he looks just like a younger version of yourself.
Kyle. His name's Kyle.
It's Kyle!
Yeah,
My
hence
son!
Kyle.
My literal son!
My son, Kyle.
My son Kyle.
23 years ago, in the biolab here in Rhizome 9, you created Kyle. Well, I suppose for you, that's still in the future. When I said I was born and raised here, I was still pretending to be him. The gravity here is only 1/6 of Earth's. If nothing was done, the reduced gravity would cause his bones to be weaker than normal human ones. But you prepared for that. You gave him that armor. Ever since he was born, he's lived inside of it. It kept his muscles and bones
Because it's
strong.
heavier, so it replicates.
He's been weight training.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's rocky
He
shit.
wasn't forced into
Yeah.
it for the nonary game. He's been wearing it every day, all his life.
Hence having little baby Kyle in the suit because he's so
he had to develop his bones.
yeah, his bones and muscles had to be developed. Yeah. Oh my God. But why would future me create a clone?
He was to be your spare. If something happened to you before the project began, he would take your place.
Fuck.
I mentioned before that the AB projects A and B stood for after and before. That isn't all they mean, though. The A also means anima, and the B means body. Anima is another word for the soul or the consciousness. Body is, well, exactly what it says on the tin. The past consciousness will go into the future body, and the future consciousness will go into the past body. They
So,
switch.
I see. So, future Sigma is currently swapped with past Sigma right
Yep,
now.
he
and
drew
is-
himself here.
And is doing work.
Yep.
Yeah, is getting shit done.
And Sigma's like, what? Now I'm in the future, though.
Yeah, oh my god! And then they're gonna swap back again, and... Fuck!
That was the chief goal of the project.
Wait, so the future person goes into the past person?
Sigma, do you remember the note you found in the garden?
You mean this, right?
Yes.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Let's take a moment to read this.
Oh, okay. We've got Rhizo. Okay, let's see.
Of course, it was you who investigated the garden in this
This
timeline.
is like, this is reminding me of the diagram for, what's that movie? What's the time travel movie? The
Looper or
No,
oh
not
no,
Looper.
Primer.
Primer.
Yeah.
This is like Primer vibes
Yep,
right now.
little bit.
Like very Primer vibes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sigma, take a good look
It's
at
exactly
this.
what it is, essentially.
It's an illustration of the time jumps your consciousness is
Holy
making.
shit.
A is where everything began.
So real quick,
Yeah.
I can't draw it out on the screen, but
No.
A jumps to B.
Jumps to B.
Okay.
Yep.
But then jumps back
around
to.
Wait.
Okay,
Wait.
okay.
A goes
Goes
to
to C.
Jumps back and around to D.
Yep, down
D.
here. But then that goes up.
Well,
so
no, and then it goes around again to A, and then to E, and then there's a split where we're at right now on E that goes up one arrow and then goes up and around another arrow to C. Do you see that?
well, no, it
that
goes
right?
it goes past C.
Yeah.
That arrow goes past. Okay.
Yeah.
She'll walk us through it.
Yes.
December 25th.
This is some primer shit. Oh my
2028.
god. Past you.
You inhaled the white smoke in your car and lost consciousness.
Productive.
From there, you jumped to B. January 25th,
That's when his
2074.
consciousness jumps.
Yep.
Yeah.
You woke up in one of the AB rooms in Rhizome 9. You are in your own body, but it is 67 years
Yikes.
old. Your consciousness has jumped 45 years into the
But between
future.
Radical 6 and the moon gravity and all that stuff, and also most of his limbs are robotic, it makes sense that he couldn't tell, because
Yeah.
everyone else couldn't tell, because all
Right.
of them were like, I feel weird, and he's like, I do too!
Right.
Cool, we're feeling the same thing, and they're like, no,
Exactly.
you're just old, man.
Oh, Sigma. Oh.
I believe that may explain why you didn't notice the reduced lunar gravity. The body you woke up in was much older. Normally, you would have noticed that your muscles were much weaker. In this case, however, the lower gravity balanced that
How
out.
is he able to have little spurts of energy though?
Moving
Like
on.
when he works past the
We don't know.
yeah.
That's always been a unique
That
Sigma ability,
was
so we don't know.
interesting as well, yeah.
If you continue along this line, what happens next? You reach C,
Wait, what?
which is January 27th,
Just go up.
2074.
Oh, if you're looking at it on a
So
straight
it's
path.
2 days later.
Where are we coming from?
B goes up
oh,
to
B
C.
to C. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is today.
Whoa. Wait, what do you mean? Are you saying it's been 2 days since we woke up?
36 hours to be exact. Have you already forgotten? You were all infected with Radical 6. The virus slowed your brain down.
Oh, right.
So yes, 36 hours of real time have passed. But to you, it only seemed like 14 hours and 40 minutes. Now comes the important part. After this, your consciousness will return to the past. It will re-emerge at point D. April 13th, 2029.
Which is way too late.
That's right, because the Radical 6 has already happened then. Shit.
That's
right.
That's what she meant earlier when she was in Kay's armor and said it's too late.
Yeah.
Already.
You will
this
return to
timeline,
your
yeah.
younger body.
But that's the same day as the reactor explosions.
Yes.
Yes. That is why I said it will be too late.
Exactly.
You will return to the past, but the events you would want to prevent will have already happened. The story does not end there, however. The line continues. After reaching point D, you will eventually return to B, but this time, you won't be jumping through time, or at least not at a rate faster than normal.
Just has to live it.
Right. Fuck.
Yeah.
Your consciousness will spend 45 years inhabiting the same body
Jeez.
until you reach point B.
So,
Do you remember when B is, Sigma?
so this consciousness right now is going to get lobbed into the past and it's going to have to live 45 years.
Yep.
Yikes.
And he's gonna have to become zero.
Yeah. And figure it out.
Yeah.
Shit! Oh my
You're
god!
right. A lot has to happen between the Sigma being zero.
He's got work to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah.
He's got 45 years and Akane to help him out along
That's
the line.
true. Yeah. January 25th, 2074. According to what you just told us, it's 36 hours ago.
Correct. That was when the consciousness of the 22-year-old Sigma jumped into the body of 67-year-old Sigma.
Kicking 67-year-old Sigma
Ouch.
back.
Yep.
So where did the older version of you go when you took his body?
Point A. December 25th, 2028. That day, all of this started. The day all of this started.
Yes. His consciousness will go back in time 45 years. For a period of time, he will inhabit your younger body. While your younger consciousness is elsewhere, he will be you in the past.
But once that body once that body reaches point D, my 22-year-old consciousness will come back from point C.
That's correct. When that happens, the older version of you will be ejected from your younger body and return to your body at C.
So it's rotating?
Rotating. I suppose you could put it that way. But look at this illustration closely. What if you take all these lines and untangle them? You get one single line. It may look complicated, but in truth, it's a single straight path, with one exception.
This line here at point E, right?
The Nevada test site.
Yep.
Exactly. Point E is December 31st, 2028, the day of the total eclipse.
The day Radical 6 got out of the test facility.
Yes, by now you've likely figured it out on your
Because the
own.
voice of the guy on the recording was Sigma. Like, it sounded like
No,
him.
it wasn't.
It wasn't?
No, it was just it was an unrelated third party.
Oh, it was? Okay.
It was part of the research experiment calling the person in the test facility.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think they're the same voice actor. I recall. I thought they sounded similar.
Sigma's never
but-
talked in this game.
No, we've heard older Sigma. I mean.
No, it was like a young dude.
Oh, was it a young dude?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was older Sigma voice. Oh, okay. All right, never mind. Just kidding. I'm remembering wrong. Yeah.
It's okay. But
Okay.
now we can confirm 3 people in the Nevada test site. We've got Sigma.
Sigma.
is going to the Nevada test site.
Well,
We've got Junpei.
older Sigma.
We've got
and-
Dr. Sigma Clem Climb is
Climb.
going to be at the test site.
Yes.
We got Junpei is going to be at the
Junpei's
test
there.
site. We've got woman who sounds a lot like Luna.
Yes.
Is going to be at the test site.
Yes.
Okay, we're adding up.
We're probably gonna get Clone Dio there too. I would
Potentially.
think. Yeah.
All I'm saying is we've got 3 so far.
Yes. Okay.
The purpose of the AB project was to get the consciousness of the 67-year-old Sigma from point B to point A. If we can do that, we can change what happened 45 years ago.
So the old version of me will keep Radical 6 from getting out by jumping into my 22-year-old body on New Year's Eve 2028.
Yes, that is why this line could not be interrupted. In order for the 67-year-old version of you to reach point B, we first have to go through point D. In order to get to point D, we must jump from point C. And for point C to happen, we had to recreate everything that happened in this facility.
Christ.
That is why we have faithfully retraced history up to this point, so that we might save humankind from destruction and undo the horrors of the last 45 years.
You get that, Sigma? You following?
Come on, Sigma.
You
Come
get
on,
that?
come on, young Sigma.
It's incredibly harrowing. It's like the worst case scenario for Sigma specifically.
Yeah. Jeez.
Because she's like, hey, look, Sigma, not only are you going to have to be involved with this for the rest of your life, but also you're going to have to live through the apocalypse because that's
And-
like base requirement.
and essentially like cycle through it over and over and over again. Like
Well,
by
and-
by theory, like unless we break out from point E, he's just stuck in that loop
until
like,
he figures out point E.
Yeah.
Basically, point E or bust is the thing.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Like that could go in perpetuity.
He also has projected the saddest possible life for himself too, because as part of the predetermined destiny, he has to have a son that he ignores, live alone in a facility with Luna, who he likes but has to treat like he doesn't. You see what I mean? Like, it's just, it sucks.
Oh God! Yeah, because he has to. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
If he doesn't do all that, then
it's not gonna work.
Yeah. So it sucks.
It's a time paradox.
It fucking sucks.
Oh my God! Now the question is too, like, how do we meet Akane in the past as well? I'm
have to
guessing
figure that
that's
out.
what we're gonna figure
Yeah.
out. And she's probably in the Nevada test site facility, and like
potentially, like, regardless, we know they're gonna meet because
Yes.
Akane said that she met Sigma when they were
when they were
younger.
young.
Yeah, so.
Yes. Holy shit!
Yup.
Unless she's talking about older her meeting younger Sigma, 22-year-old Sigma.
All of these are possible.
In a
Also,
body swap.
Phi?
What the fuck is the deal with Phi? Like, we still don't know. Like,
Yeah, this is a great explanation for Sigma, and she's like, but also Phi does need to go back.
I really would like everyone just to turn and look at Phi and be like,
what's
okay,
your deal, though?
what's going on with you? What is the situation? Like, why are you here? Why can you hop around? Like, what the fuck? Okay, I mean, all questions will be answered at some point. Like, this game is too smart to not leave anything hanging. Like, everything will be answered. Let's continue. That was it.
What
Tell me
is that?
You said that point C is January 27th, 2074, which is today. There's going to be a jump, and I'll jump to April 13th, 2029.
Yes, that's right.
But look, I'm still old. When is this jump supposed to happen?
Very soon.
Soon?
Yes.
And what's going to trigger it?
We need potential energy stored to send your consciousness into the 4th dimension. Fortunately, we now have plenty of that. Thanks, ironically, to Radical 6. All that remains is to launch your
so
consciousness.
stuff is happening with Radical 6 right now, and that's gonna enable us to...
Well, it's all of our
Radical
jumps.
6.
Yeah, our Radical 6. All of our jumps have been storing up energy.
Yeah.
And basically, we are a pulled, taut rubber band.
We're ready to go.
Yeah.
Shit.
Like a bullet from a slingshot.
And how do you propose to do that?
Didn't I tell you? A crisis. A moment balanced between life and death. That can jumpstart your brain.
What do you mean?
You haven't figured it out. I mean this.
Dio's knife?
No sooner were the words out of my mouth.
Okay. Fucking Akane. Fi!
I screamed and leapt towards them. Akane was already in motion, the knife diving towards Fi's chest. I was almost there. When I regained consciousness, I was on the floor. There was a dull pain in my chest.
Yeah.
I felt for a cut, but something was in the way. It took me a moment to realize that it was Akane's body lying on top of me. I twisted my neck to look around. Nearby was an old tombstone. On it was written a few words in Latin.
Yep.
What you are, I was. What I am, you will be.
Shit! Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Don't worry, there's an after credit scene.
Wait!
Don't worry, there's an after credit scene.
Okay! Okay. What? Is this the end of the game? What? This can't be the end of the game!
It's almost like what takes place in that Nevada test site is going to be important and might fill an entire game's worth of content.
As the fucking... It's just 999?
No, Zero Time Dilemma.
Ah!
Zero Time Dilemma is the Nevada test site. So, let's go over who's gonna be in Zero Time Dilemma.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Are you serious? Oh my god! Sorry, I said, are you serious? And Siri's like, hey, you called? Okay, so.
I will say, the story's not over. We're gonna get it. There's a
post-credit
scene, which is why, like, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't be like, let's not, but,
Shit!
But, yeah. So
we've got, Sigma is definitely
we've
gonna be
got
there.
Dr. Sigma Climb.
We've got in a young body.
In a young body.
We've got old Sigma and young body.
Yes, we have Junpei, approximately, like, a little more than a year after 999.
Yes. Okay. Slightly older, but not too much older Junpei.
Yes.
Akane? Probably? I mean, she's probably gonna be there. Wait, there was also someone else that's a guarantee.
I'm just gonna go ahead and call it. There's Luna's original.
Okay,
There's the
okay.
woman that Luna is based off of.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, because we heard her voice, so
Yes.
yeah.
She's gonna be there.
And
And maybe Fi. Because...
I mean, Fi has
because
to be there.
we have gotten no answers for
yeah,
Fi.
like, this game was just like, who's Fi? You don't know. That's it. Like, wow.
But you know what's wild? Okay, if a cast of a 999 game is 9 people, 5 of them are known quantities, 2 of them are 0.
That's right! That's right!
And it's not just 0. We get Dr. Sigma Climb and Akane as characters.
in the same game as characters together that we're
and
gonna
those
play.
are the known quantities.
And Junpei, who is the protagonist of game 1, like all in one game together. Oh my, and that's the Fi end, of course it is.
New destination has been added to the flowchart.
Oh my god, let's go there right now.
Let's go.
Go. We gotta get him a little more. Oh my god. Woo, way back. Oh, way back. Oh shit.
Yeah, we're not done. I personally think they trigger the credits maybe a little early, but it's okay.
Way back.
Today is April 13th, 2029. and this is the evening news. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't have any news to read. All of our station's reporters have passed after contracting Radical 6. So have my... Excuse me. I've managed to keep us on the air until now. But I'm out of tricks. It's time for me to sign off. This concludes our broadcast day. I pray that someday our world can be cleansed of this horrible plague. Goodbye.
Shit.
For a moment, I just stared at the TV. A roar of static seemed to fill the entire room, until with a click, it disappeared. Had the power gone out? I heard footsteps behind me and turned around.
You. Hi. Akane?
It looks like the first step was successful.
What the fuck? You killed me!
Killed?
I guess technically you're going to kill me 45 years from now, but still!
Hey, no need to be rude about it. I didn't kill you. I hit you with the butt of the knife. You're fine.
I'm okay.
Yes, you and Phi needed to experience a state of crisis. That was the only way.
Me and Phi?
Yes. I only told you about you, but we also needed Phi to jump. Now, you know what happens next, right?
We go to the moon?
Correct. We will be leaving tomorrow, April 14th, 2029. We've nearly finished preparing your shuttle. Only a few last-minute checks and additions. You'll be traveling to Rhizome 9, along with 3 treatment pods.
Allison Clover, right?
Yes.
What about the third one? Who's in there?
Phi. We put her into cold sleep 2 days ago.
Oh, so
She appeared at our headquarters and volunteered to be frozen.
Fascinating. So Phi is from, like, the past timeline. Like,
Yeah, and she'd always been consistent on that. She said she was kidnapped on the 25th.
That's right, yeah.
But seems like she volunteered.
Whoa! That's really weird. Okay.
That wasn't the Phi who jumped from point C, though. It was Phi before she jumped from point A to point D. In other words, she was following the same path you are, and she still is.
Weird.
So we're both just careening through time.
Holy shit! Then that means that after you froze her, the point C version of her jumped back into her body?
Yes. The point C version of Phi is sleeping in that pod. She'll stay there for the next 45 years, sleeping in ice.
Then, when she gets to point B, her consciousness will jump to point A, right?
Correct.
And then volunteer. Yeah. Whoa! Huh.
Well, no, that's before
No,
volunteering.
that's before
That's
volunteering.
before the Nevada test site.
That's right. She'll have that information. Yeah, that's... Okay.
We're both trying to get to the same point.
Yes, you're right. But, like, where does she insert herself into this, though? Like...
She...
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, that's why she didn't look old. So, why don't you just stick me in one of those pods?
We can't do that.
Why not?
You haven't figured it out? You have to spend the next 45 years working on the AB project. After arriving at Rhizome 9, you must master genetic engineering and artificial intelligence programming, among other disciplines.
Jesus.
Otherwise, you will be unable to create Kyle, Luna, and Lagomorph. And, of course, you will need to develop the chromatic doors and the bracelets.
Oh my god, no wonder he, like, it's just so fucking tired whenever he's talking, like, in his, like, Termite Man.
Yeah.
form. Yeah.
Poor
Dr.
Dr. Klein is just like, my life is just not how I pictured it.
Oh,
or
my
maybe,
God.
unfortunately, it is exactly as I pictured it.
It has to be exactly. Like, it has to be exact.
I mean, luckily, Sigma does have the skill set to do this. He will perfectly remember what it was and be
true.
able to replicate it.
And it's just that
He also probably can learn really, really quickly because he's able to memorize things as he goes. He's the ideal candidate.
Yeah,
he's a dummy, but he's the ideal candidate.
He is, because he has a brain that can be molded.
Yep.
Yep. And he has that like perfect photographic memory.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's the one that can do all of it.
Yep.
Oh my god.
You will also be the person who summons Tenmyoji and Quark. Once you've completed all the preparations, then the project can actually begin. January 25th, 2074. You will defrost Phi and carry her to the 3rd AB room. Once you've done that, the 22-year-old version of you from point A will force you out, and you'll just go back 45 years to your own body on December 25th, 2028.
Oh.
And I'll wake up in the car.
Yep. And then I change history. Do you really think I can keep the virus from getting out?
You have to. If you don't, billions of people will die.
They're dying right now,
Yeah.
is the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like this
Only you
timeline
and
right
Phi
now
can save them.
Is the too late timeline.
Yep.
What about you? Aren't you an Esper too?
I can't do anything on my own. If this is going to work, I'll need your help.
He doesn't really get a say in any of it either.
He never, at any point, gets a say.
Never
in it.
ever does. He's like...
For what it's worth, nobody really gets a say in this one.
No. Like,
that's what sucks about it.
honestly,
Nobody's right or wrong. Even Akane.
Akane doesn't even really get a
No.
say in it either. Like...
And she's stuck with it too. She also has to live out the next however many years working with Sigma.
Right.
It's just, it's so, it
and like
sucks.
hiding herself from Junpei.
Yeah.
Probably hiding on the... Well, I'm probably hiding on the moon.
For some of it.
For some of it.
Yeah.
I mean, she
at least
definitely
4
is.
years of it, but probably she's leaving to go to the moon with him to build the base. It seems like before Kyle is born,
Well, Rise
she
Up 9's
leaves.
already there.
Well, but to build the game.
Oh, yes.
Because she said, we're leaving tomorrow.
Yeah.
So she and Sigma go there to build it. She clearly leaves at some point because Kyle didn't grow up with her, and then
Right.
she comes back.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
she seems to have been there for a lot of it.
Yep. And... I mean, it makes sense why Tenmyoji has never been able to find her either. Because
Yeah,
she's been
'cause
working
on the
this.
moon.
Yeah, and on the literal moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
What do you mean?
Like, what specific actions do I need to take? When Phi and I jump to point A, what are we going to do then?
You'll both enter the Mars mission test site.
And after that?
I don't know.
What?
I'm sorry. I really don't know anything about what happens in there. We don't know how the Radical Six escaped. We don't even know why it was there in the first place.
Oh, crap. Then we're screwed.
That's why we need your help. You have the ability to jump through time and across parallel worlds. We need you to figure out what happened in that test facility. Things will be difficult, and I'm sure you will find yourself in a great deal of danger. But I believe the two of you can overcome any obstacle.
Wait. How do you know it's so dangerous?
The 67-year-old version of you told me what happened. He wasn't able to stop the virus.
Because we only just kicked him out. He would have been
Yeah.
here up until a moment ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I suppose you could say you told me after you failed.
What did I say?
That the test facility is full of traps. There was one point. A woman's life was in danger. You risked yourself for her sake and lost your arms and your right eye.
Oh, shit. My arms and my right eye? Yeah.
It sucks, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Sucks. That's an appearance.
He's
That's
like,
an
why?
image.
Wait,
Wait, I lost my... What? Like, he looks down and is like,
fuck, man.
fuck.
What? When do I develop ABT? Because this is ludicrous.
Yeah, like, can we cover this up, please?
Yeah.
Shit, what the hell?
Suddenly a low rumble shook the building.
Hey, pocket clips.
I guess it's time.
Yep. What was that?
Go have a look.
No, you really shouldn't look, though.
I moved slowly to the window and peered outside.
No, you don't look at that.
Look away from that.
Please don't look at it.
On the horizon, I could see a massive mushroom cloud climbing slowly towards the sky.
Fucking duck and cover.
Would we really be able to change the course of history? No, that was the wrong way to look at it. It couldn't be a question. I had to change history. We could save the world. I'm going to change history. I stared at the darkening sky above us and steeled myself. I would succeed.
You have to.
Yeah, there's no question of it.
Yeah, you have to, because it's weird.
It hasn't happened yet.
But
the
you
thing
know
is, it's not inevitable.
Yeah.
He knows he has to, but it's not inevitable.
That's true.
It hasn't happened.
Exactly, because you can be stuck in that loop forever and ever. That's what I was saying. Like,
yep.
It's a straight line, but it's Sigma, like, punting himself back over and over and over again.
Until he figures it out.
Exactly. End or beginning. That was really good.
We're also not done. Real quick, sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I forget where it is. Where are we going? Where are we going?
Where are we going? What are you doing? What? I don't know.
There it is.
Oh, well.
They just don't tell you it's here.
Another time. Let's go.
They really don't tell you it's here.
They didn't tell us anything. Oh. What is this time? Well, yeah, when are we?
After.
Where?
Hi.
I see you've finally woken up, Kyle.
Kyle.
Ah, yes. Of course. You've only just woken up in this timeline. It's only natural for some of your memories to be missing.
Hello?
I lurched upright, jumping off the bed, and ran around to the other side of the partition.
Uh-oh.
The mirror over the sink was covered with film.
Oh shit,
of dirt.
He went into his backup body. Is that what's going on here? We just jumped to his backup? Fuck! Okay. Shit.
I wiped it off with my sleeve, and my reflection stared back at me. There was no mistake. The reflection belonged to...
Kyle Climb. So, I'm Dr. Climb? Zero Senior's clone?
I love that we got his voice now. That's so good.
How do you know that? Shouldn't you still be suffering from amnesia?
An excellent question. One I didn't quite know the answer to myself. I knew who Kyle Climb was. In another history, he had been called K, and had worn a suit of armor. He hadn't just worn the armor in that history, though. Apparently, he'd worn it all his life. Kyle had been born and raised in the lunar installation, which seemed to be called Rhizome 9. Rather late in his life, Akane had appeared as a mother figure, and he had consequently grown very attached to her. I knew everything about him. But even though I knew it, I didn't feel it.
Right.
Was I really Kyle Climb? Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw his face. A spitting image of Sigma Climb in his younger days. I looked down. There was Dio, still handcuffed. I turned back around to Luna.
What day is today?
January 27th, 2074.
And today is the last day of the AB project. Akane has explained everything in the garden. And she drew a knife and attacked Phi.
So, fun thing is going on here.
How long have I been asleep?
Sigma, depending on how you quantify it, has 4 voice actors.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go through those real quick.
Well, we've got... Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna go through those real quick.
Yes.
We've got person talking right now, who is technically, in VLR, Sigma's canonical voice actor. This is Troy Baker, talking to you for the only time in the entire game that he gets to talk.
Hi, buddy. I was like, he sounds really familiar.
Yep,
but...
that is Troy Baker talking right now.
Okay.
It is not Travis Willingham who plays K.
Who plays the voice of the suit, essentially.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I said depending on how you look at it. So if Kyle had normally talked at any point in this game,
he would have sounded like
he would have sounded like Troy Baker.
Yeah.
But in the suit, he sounds like Travis Willingham, which is important because then Akane can talk like Travis Willingham.
Right.
Okay. All right. That's 2.
Yes.
3 is Dr. Sigma Climb.
Yes.
Who is Zero Senior, who does show up every once in a while.
Hold on, I gotta pull up his name because he's a very prolific voice actor that plays a lot of, like, older gentlemen in the anime.
He is, and I'm bummed out that I can't think of his name off the top of my head, because he's a very good voice actor, who doesn't get to talk very much in this game. And then there's 4.
Us?
No.
Okay.
4, well, yes. 4 is Allison Man,
yeah.
who voiced him throughout this whole game.
Woo!
Yes. 5 is his voice actor in Zero Time Dilemma, where Troy Baker is replaced by Matthew Mercer.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Just saying, there's a lot of Sigma voices going on.
That's incredible. Wait, actually...
But I did just want to call out that this is not Travis Willingham talking right now.
Yeah.
It's Troy Baker.
I guess
and it's also not Matthew Mercer. It's Troy Baker.
Yeah. I guess he would be Zero Senior. Hold on. I just really gotta
I don't know
this.
whether it would be listed as Zero Senior. Probably Zero Senior, but it also could be Jameson Price.
Jameson Price.
Yeah,
yeah.
All
He's
right.
been in a million things.
He has.
Like, he's, like, just as prolific as the rest of these voice actors.
Absolutely,
here.
yeah.
He's awesome.
So, just wanted to call that out, because I think it's a fun fact.
That is, so, like, 4/5.
4/5. I am
guess
counting you.
6 if you play his internal monologue.
I am True.
So,
True.
6 people have played Sigma over the course of his existence. Holy shit.
About 5 hours in real time. For them, it would have seemed like a little more than 2 hours.
So they still haven't been treated for their Radical 6?
No, they've all been given the antiviral. It just takes a while to have an effect.
I see. So the consciousness of the younger Sigma has gone back into the past. It should have happened right after Akane attacked Phi, right?
Yes.
Why am I here?
The doctor carried you back here. You were in the pod in the garden.
So the person you call the doctor is Sigma Climb, as inhabited by his age-appropriate consciousness.
Yes, but how do you know that?
Dio seems to have remained unconscious.
So, no. Dr. Sigma Climb jumped back to Dr. Sigma Climb.
What? Kyle, what are you doing? Kyle.
Yes, I've been administering Soparil whenever he gets restless.
It seems Luna's kind of put off by this,
What about
too.
the others?
Yeah.
They've all gone off to different areas. Tenmyoji and Quark, for instance.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Mr. Climb.
So the sleepyhead's finally up, huh?
What are you two doing here?
You don't know where we are?
This is the upper floor of the pressure exchange chamber. The real one.
Mm-hmm.
We were just about to get dressed and head out.
You plan to return, then? To Earth, I mean.
Yeah.
Sigma told us where we could find the shuttle that brought us here. Well, guess he's not really the Sigma I knew anymore. He's Dr. Climb now, or Zero Senior, depending on how you look at it.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Well, I'm just curious why you would choose to return to a devastated planet when you could stay here.
How's staying here gonna help? You aren't gonna say something idiotic about how we should wait here until Sigma changes the past, are you? You can't wait for something that's already happened. Grammar doesn't work that way. Hell, nature doesn't work that way. You following me? We've already lived through history. Sigma failed to keep the virus from getting out. About 45 years ago, Radical 6 created a pandemic, and the antimatter reactors blew up. That all happened. Whatever Sigma does in the past, history's not gonna change. In fact, it's because of what he did or didn't do in the past that we've got this past and present. Let me give you an example. Imagine a group of 100 motorcycles driving down an endless freeway. Eventually, they hit a junction. The road splits in two. One freeway continues off northwest, and the other stretches out to the northeast. So one guy, we'll call him S, pipes up. "Let's go northwest," he says. So they take the northwestern road. But about a mile past the intersection, something horrible happens. A semi driving the other way veers into their lane and plows through the bikers. 90 of them die. The surviving 10 are wounded, but survive. They don't stop, though. They keep riding down that highway, and eventually they'd gone 10,000 miles. Then suddenly, something happens that they couldn't have predicted. S, who had survived, suddenly has his consciousness thrown back in time. He ends up back in his own body just before they reach the junction. He remembers everything. So what does S do? What anybody would do. Let's go northeast. That means all 100 of the bikers survive to reach their destination, happy and healthy. And they all live happily ever after. That's what you're thinking, right? It's a great outcome for the 100 bikers that went northeast. But what about the 10 that went northwest and survived the accident?
Huh? Wouldn't it be 9 people? I mean, S's mind went back in time, right?
Right. Okay. 9 people then. What happens to the reality they were living? Does it just disappear when S changes the past? It's not as if it was only bad things that happened during that 10,000-mile trip.
Looking at you, Quark.
Maybe one of them fell in love with a woman working at a gas station they stopped at and had a child. Maybe one of them picked up a homeless kid who joined them on their adventure. That 10,000-mile journey would be full of stories, friendships, farewells, romances. The loss of those 90 lives is horrible and unfortunate. But what would rewriting their history mean? The 9 who survived lived full lives. How can it be right to just erase all that? The survivors overcame their own misery and loss and made the best they could of the hand they'd been dealt. Isn't that worth something? Isn't that the best thing that humans can aspire to? Is there really any point to a world where everything is happy?
So this Junpei is literally suggesting, like, don't bother, like, don't...
No,
like, not
he's
don't
not saying
bother.
that. He's just
Or,
saying
like,
what he lived matters.
right, yeah.
Quark matters. Because if you go back and change the past, Quark never happens.
Right. Right.
Not just Junpei doesn't meet him. Quark doesn't happen.
No, because he's not an orphan little kid living in a post-apocalyptic world.
He probably doesn't get born. Like,
Yeah.
the situation that led to him existing in the first place never happens.
Right.
So,
He's
it
just,
matters.
Yeah.
It also means that all the
valid.
other timelines where other people died, they matter.
Right. Yeah, that's what I think he's getting at here, is that, like...
And frankly, he's getting at something, I think, a bit more fundamental, which is that Akane and Sigma's whole worldview is mercenary in a way that I don't think they're capable of realizing.
Right. Because they're seeing this as a, like, we have to change history.
They're seeing it as a puzzle to be solved.
Yeah, exactly.
And Junpei's like, guys...
Like, those are still lives.
Well, and it's like, while you all were recreating some perfect future that you saw, I had to live it.
Right.
And I didn't get to see a path forward. I didn't know I was going to live past tomorrow, let alone through 45 years to run a goddamn puzzle box on the moon. Like, it's just, I think it's important to have context, and I think that's sort of why Junpei's saying this.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Like, just to say, hold up, stop for a second, and
well,
think
he's
about
also like,
the other
I'm gonna
people.
go back and keep living.
Yeah.
Because this timeline's never gonna disappear.
Right.
It doesn't just get pruned off for the prime timeline.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a sacrifice that's being made, but he's still a person that has to live it.
Yeah, and I also don't think it's even a sacrifice. There is no one
correct
timeline.
Sacrifice in Akane's view.
Yeah, in Akane's worldview, they are trying to create the real time.
Right.
And Junpei's saying they're all real.
Right.
And just because everyone lives in one doesn't mean it's the right one or the true one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Especially for somebody that can top between timelines. I can imagine it's incredibly seductive to be what Akane and Sigma are.
Right. Because Junpei could, like, probably be able to have what they're trying to achieve as well. Or at least is, like, very cognizant to it and aware. Yeah. Oh, dude.
Are people who struggle for a better life just idiots? Being human is about fighting, even when it seems hopeless, and finding happiness, even in a world that hates it. Are you saying that's worthless? If you're saying rewriting the past will erase all these other timelines, then whatever God wrote those rules can Look, I'm just not going to accept that, alright? You get it?
If Sigma changes the past, then you and Quark will never meet.
Is he right?
No, it's not going to happen. We're here right now. This is reality. Even if Sigma does change the past, we're not just going to disappear or something.
Oh, then that means we get to stay together? Good.
Thanks, kid.
I understand how you feel. Why you want to return to Earth is clear. You have lives there, I imagine. There are likely people waiting for you.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Have you already said goodbye to the others?
Vi, Luna, Alice, and Clover all saw us off. We told him we'd see him again someday, and then came here.
They were the only people you want to say goodbye to?
Well, no point saying anything to Dio.
Besides, he's asleep. You were asleep too.
Sorry, but we didn't really know much about you.
You have a point. Akane was in the armor in this timeline, after all. What about Sigma?
Well, he's not really Mr. Sigma anymore.
Of course. He is Dr. Klein now that his consciousness has returned.
Yeah, but more importantly, he's the guy who brought us all here. Not a lot of warm feelings there, you know?
And Akane?
Never mind her.
Damn.
She's just like him.
Damn.
Not the Akane I knew. She must have seen some pretty awful things over the years. Hell, she might not even be human anymore. But the Akane Kurashiki I know isn't here. She's not anywhere.
Shit.
Yeah. In the end, Clover and I were just pawns. Pawns to be used and then gotten rid of. Still, it's not like we're completely resentful. We had to be here to help change the past. That part's easy to understand. But
Kinda sucks, though. I mean, Sigma and Vi have it easy. They get to go back to December 25th in 2028. They'll stop the Radical Six and save the world, and then they'll have a nice, normal future to look forward to. In other words, they get to go back to Point E and just enjoy history like it was supposed to happen.
But we don't. We're stuck with Point C as our starting point.
You told us about Tenmyoji's story, right? The one with the motorcycles? It would be like if Alice and I were kidnapped right before the intersection. Then whoever grabbed us takes us to wherever the bikers are going, 10,000 miles to the northwest.
Don't get us wrong. We know why we had to be here. Without us, S's consciousness wouldn't have been able to go back to right before the intersection.
If that couldn't happen, then the fate of those 90 dead bikers would be sealed. But
It's still not the best situation for those of us left in the Northwest. We're stuck in the reality where the 90 bikers died.
Yeah, and everything they've ever worked for is meaningless. Like,
Right, exactly.
And,
Yeah.
you know, we've talked about this before, but, like, Light is definitely dead. Like, it's
Yeah.
just... It sucks.
Yeah.
are we just supposed to go live on Earth? It's a wasteland now. And what about our friends and families? We left a whole world behind 45 years ago.
Even if it is for the greater good?
It just doesn't seem fair, does it?
Yeah, it's a little bit much.
So we went and talked to the old lady.
She told us that there is one way.
One way we could get back to the past.
Let's say you do go back to the past. Wouldn't that cause your minds to get thrown back here? That seemed to be how Sigma and Phi's jumps worked, at least.
Yes, you're right.
But this is different.
Different. How so?
From what she said, it sounds like there's a way we can send our bodies back in time, too.
That's ridiculous. It would create a paradox. How could you have two Clovers and two Alices at the same time?
But that wouldn't happen.
Akane says there's a way around that.
How on earth does she plan to do that?
Schrodinger's?
Cat.
So how they get in?
Oh, hey, Kyle.
There's a method to get them in, to get them back and have them here at the same time, and then once the history is determined, it determines which ones they stick to.
I'm not going to elaborate on this one.
Okay.
This one's interesting, and yeah, I can't elaborate on this one. That's a plot hook, is what that's called.
That is fair.
That's called a plot hook.
That is by the third game. Yeah.
Figured you'd come here eventually.
Where's Dr. Klein? Luna said you were with him.
They just still can't get over this name is Kyle.
You know, sometimes it's just Kyle.
Sometimes you're just Kyle.
He said he was tired, so he's off resting right now. There's a bedroom at the end of the hallway.
They have been up for 3 days straight.
Yeah, true.
He's in there if you're curious. Oh, right. He told me to turn on this hologram projector thing when you showed up. Want me to start it?
Sure.
Glad to see you.
Hi.
There isn't anything in particular that I have to tell
But
you.
why'd you want us to turn on this hologram of you?
However, I imagine there are a great number of things weighing on your mind. I'd love to answer all your questions, but unfortunately, my circumstances make that an impossibility. I hope you can forgive me. Everything I know, Phi should also know. I have instructed her to answer any questions anyone might have. Anyone other than Kyle, that is.
What does he mean, other than Kyle?
Who knows? Is there anything you want to ask?
Right, well, I guess I may as well cut to the chase. Just who are you, Phi?
I'm not Superman, that's for sure. And I'm not Batman or Spider-Man or Aquaman or a merman or a wolfman. I'm not a Brahmin or Kamen or Ramen. I'm not a Cayman either, so you really don't need to worry about anything.
Please don't dodge the question. About 5 hours ago, Akane attacked you with a knife. That triggered something which sent your mind back to the past, correct?
Yeah.
Specifically, you were sent to Point D, April 13th, 2029. On that date, your body was already in Akane's custody. Although by then you were in cold sleep. You wouldn't have regained consciousness, but your mind was now inhabiting that body.
That's weird.
Yeah, right?
That pod was your home for 45 years. You slept there, frozen, until the time was right. Then on January 25th, 2074, you were finally thawed out, even though you didn't wake up. Still unconscious, you were carried to the AB room. That was when your consciousness changed bodies again. A version of you from December 25th, 2028 arrived, pushing you out and sending you back to December 25th, 2028.
She really had the best of it.
Yeah, she did.
That all happened pretty much instantaneously. So that means that the version of Phi that's at the Nevada test site is, for all intents and purposes, exactly the version of Phi that ends this game.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, because there was no other time. So it's just like beat, 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 okay, I'm in the past.
Yeah.
Whereas Sigma obviously didn't get that.
Yeah, because she didn't know that she was
This is when you finally woke up. In 2028, you found and joined forces with Sigma, whose older mind was inhabiting his younger body. Together, you attempted to infiltrate the Mars mission test facility. Unfortunately, your plan failed. The Radical Six did escape on New Year's Eve. That failure determined the path you followed. Instead of going along the line that branches out to the right from Point E, you headed straight to Point D. Point D being April 13th of the following year. That was the day that you made your way to Akane's hideout and asked to be put into one of the treatment pods. Another consciousness enters your body around that time from the future.
And we cycle. Yeah.
It is, of course, the version of you that left your body when Akane attacked you in the garden. This caused the two versions of you to swap places, and you moved 45 years into the future, where you woke up on the garden floor.
And here you are now.
Aha.
That put you on the line that comes
Which
here.
means that this Phi is like half a year older than the other Phi. Like, that's what's so weird, is that her timeline is so much shorter.
Yeah, there's not a lot of time passing in between her consciousnesses. Yeah.
So if we discount the time you spent in cold sleep, for you, only 3.5 months have passed since that happened. That being when you were sent back into the past from the garden. Have I missed anything?
No, everything you talked about you got right.
Well, what do you mean by that?
I'm kind of an unknown variable in this equation. You could think of me as a kind of X factor. It's taken me the last 3.5 months to understand it.
I haven't understood anything in the last 3.5 seconds. Could you please explain?
It's kind of like the relationship between classical mechanics and modern physics.
Sorry, I'm just gonna real quick say, it is kind of funny to realize that, well, no, never mind. It's more just, every time Sigma was saying his dumb bullshit throughout this whole game, it was in, Price's voice the whole time, and it just cracks me up.
Yeah.
Every time he's like, I would like some swimsuit action.
I was thinking
it's
about
this
that.
old man!
I was gonna call that out earlier. I was thinking about that like, all of his, like, quips that he's making, thinking that he's 22, he's actually this, like, old, creepy old man.
It reframes exactly how everyone responds to him, too, because, like, the visceral reaction that so many people have.
Everyone's like, ew, no, stop it.
Yeah.
It's gross ass dude.
It's like, yeah.
Like, it doesn't play off very well.
It doesn't come off as well when you're 67.
I mean, it also doesn't come off well when you're 22 either.
No, it doesn't. It nenever was a good look.
No.
It's just very funny to me.
It's just extra funny that, like, he's this old dude.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
Strictly speaking, You can't combine velocities with v1 plus v2. v1 plus v2 divided by 1 plus v1 times v2 over c squared is the actual equation. Of course, the sort of velocities we encounter in day-to-day life don't come close to being c squared, which is the speed of light squared. That means that 1 plus v1 times v2 divided by c squared is usually going to evaluate to something pretty close to 1. Since that would mean dividing by 1, it's usually okay to just skip that step and use v1 plus v2. You see what I'm saying? In most situations it works, even if it isn't technically correct. So you knew enough to get the stuff you were talking about right. As long as you stick to that, you won't run into any problems.
I don't quite understand. In fact, I feel like you're dodging my questions.
So is that what you wanted to ask about?
No. What I really want to know is what happened between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028. You and Sigma infiltrated the Mars mission test site, didn't you?
Yes.
What happened there? How did Sigma lose his eye and both his arms? And why was Radical 6 in there in the first place? What could a deadly virus have to do with the simulated mission to space?
Sorry, but I can't tell you that.
Why?
Because it would change history. There is a history where the virus didn't escape. That's the line that goes to the right of point E. In that timeline, humanity isn't heading for annihilation, and Earth isn't red. The future is much brighter. But if I tell you what you're asking me right now, then that reality will disappear. You understand?
I don't. Why would all of that disappear if you told me what I want to know?
You're about to go back to the past, right?
The past? Don't be silly. I can't do that.
Then where the hell did you learn all this stuff? I just listened to you tell me a bunch of things you shouldn't have known
this
about.
Has to be.
You were sleeping in the pod in the garden. You just woke up. So how can you know all this? You know my past. Sigma's past.
Yeah, what is the deal?
I shall give you your answer. You are not Kyle Climb. Your body is Kyle's, but your consciousness is not. Think about it. Do you really believe you're Kyle?
Oh, did somebody else have to get punted out of, out of the facility in that timeline into Kyle's body? That is not Sigma, not Dr. Klein? Since Kyle's here as, a backup for, accounting for, one person in those jumps.
And how does that work?
I don't know, yeah.
Or could you be someone else entirely?
Then, where is the real Kyle's consciousness?
It's a question mark now.
He was thrown out when you entered. Right now, in a manner of speaking. He has arrived at December 25th, 2028.
Oh, did we get Kyle?
His consciousness has gone into a body from that time. I doubt you know how much the doctor loves Kyle. He raised him on his own. Kyle is irreplaceable. Do you really think he would go back to the past and leave Kyle behind here? Huh. I know what I told the others, that Kyle was Dr. Climb's spare, but that was not his only purpose. Kyle's consciousness is integral to what we are trying to accomplish. This new mission begins on Christmas and ends on New Year's Eve. Its purpose will be to infiltrate the test facility and prevent the spread of the virus. For this to happen, Kyle is absolutely necessary.
And that is why he created him?
Yes.
So now that my consciousness has entered his body, the doctor has achieved his objective. Kyle has gone back to 2028 to participate in his mission.
Correct.
What body is he in?
There's one thing that troubles me. Kyle was created before reaching point B from point D. That means his body did not exist on Christmas in 2028. Does that mean he has entered my body? Have we just switched places?
I suppose you could put it that way, yes.
That's ridiculous. What's going to happen to me? You telling me I have to spend the rest of my life here in this box, living in a borrowed body?
No, not at all. You can travel freely through time and space. You are an uncontrolled variable that entered our closed system.
Fuck?
As such, the rules of this world do not apply
Are
to
you
you.
protagonists of Game 3?
I have no idea what...
Please don't try to play dumb. I know what you are. Surely you must know by now, too. You are about to go into the past and save the world. Phi and Sigma, even with all of his future knowledge, will need your help. Only you can right the horrible wrongs of our past. Only you can save the world.
There's no way I...
Yes, there is. You have to. Don't you want to know the truth? Don't you want to know what happened in between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028?
Well, yes, I do, but...
Then you must believe. Reality is shaped by what we believe reality should be. If observation can change the motion of a particle, then how is it odd to think that human thought can shape reality? Your will can change history. The world will be reshaped into the one you imagine.
What the fuck?
Remember what I've told you. Only you can change history.
We got you, Akane.
Only you can save the world.
What the fuck?
We got you, Akane.
What the fuck?
Hearing you loud and clear.
Or is she talking to us? Yeah. Oh.
Got that fourth dimensional being up in here.
Right, we're the uncontrolled variable in the that has entered the closed system.
Yeah.
Fuck! Yes, that's right.
Throughout the whole game, we've talked a lot about the difference between us and Sigma, and about how our goals don't always align with Sigma's goals until they do.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Whoa!
We got the Akane end!
That was so cool. It was that alternate end. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was... Oh, and look, there she is up there.
Yep.
Oh my god!
So, with all that in mind...
Wow!
Dr. Sigma Climb.
Yes.
Freaking Phi, for reasons we do not understand, we still don't understand.
Nope.
Junpei.
Yes.
Akane.
Yes.
And Luna's original.
Yes.
And also a fourth dimensional being.
Us.
Us.
In a body?
Us, the players.
But we're in somebody's body.
We don't know. Us, the players, all end up... She kept saying in a manner of speaking, in a manner of speaking, in a manner of speaking. So I'm going to just say that, like, we have no idea. Are all going to head to the past to go figure out what happened in the Mars test facility and save the world.
I had no idea that the third game in this series was actually, like, the prequel to the events that happened in Virtue's Last Reward.
I have another thing to bring up. I want you to keep in mind, from the perspective of when this game came out, this series got canceled a few months after this came out. For years.
Oh my god.
It was just dead. This game came out and they set all that up, and then they're like, hey, by the way, we're not gonna make a third game. We have no money and no funding. The series is over. It just died.
Oh my.
And then fucking out of nowhere, Zero Time Dilemma exists.
Like, lol, JK.
Yeah, I've never been more blown away by a game announcement than I was by Zero Time Dilemma, because like
it just came out, right?
There was a bit of lead time, but everybody thought this thing was dead.
Wow.
And they were like, what? You can't what?
Because yeah, you set this up and then be like, oh, sorry guys, we're not making games anymore. And then, oh my god, that would be the worst.
Yeah, it sucks. I was very unhappy.
Yeah, I recall that now.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember.
And that was Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward.
Wow. What a game.
Right?
What a game. I'm like, oh, it was so good. I don't want to say I'm unsatisfied, because we're going to play a third game and we're going to know what happens, because this is the middle book of a trilogy, essentially.
And because of that, there are a lot of loose ends.
Yes.
There are quite a few loose ends. I mean,
the biggest one is Phi.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest one. I guess not really. The biggest one is, do we stop Radical 6 from being released into the world and prevent, like, the apocalypse? Because,
like, what's hard is because of Virtue's Last Reward, we know we didn't.
Right.
And there's no sure thing that we do.
Right.
So then
Which I guess is true, because you could you could just not play that game.
Yeah.
And not
then it never
change
happened.
history. Right. Or you can play that game and not beat it, and then this still stands.
That is something that's kind of cool about the time when Zero Time Dilemma didn't exist, because it was its own answer.
Right, exactly.
They just never figured it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it sucks.
And this timeline C just keeps existing and going forward because it was never solved. That's sort of what, like, that's what Tenmyoji was getting at. It's like, well, that's sort of what they were all getting at.
Well, it was, I mean, it's kind of, and now that you brought it up, it is fairly meta. It's Tenmyoji being like, even if the game is canceled, the future game is canceled, even if none of this is solved, it doesn't invalidate everything that led to this moment.
Right.
This game still has meaning.
Yes.
Their lives still have meaning. Everything that happened still has meaning.
Characters still have meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of beautiful. I actually got kind of teared up during Tenmyoji's bit, because, like, I don't know, it hit me really hard.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. And sad. Yeah, just really sad.
Yeah.
Because this timeline Tenmyoji's just really is sad.
Everything about Junpei's life was sad.
Yeah.
When it came right down to it, like, but the flip side is no, that's not true, because he found Quark.
Right,
and
exactly.
that all mattered. And
he found new meaning. Yeah.
I just think it's great. And I also think there's this really cool thing that happens, especially in that alternate ending, where you start to see Akane and Dr. Climb in like in a darker light, weirdly.
Yeah.
Almost darker than even when they were Zero, as realizing that, like, yeah, their goal is to save the world, and that's admirable, but god damn, at what cost?
Right.
Couldn't they have tried anything else?
There are so many other histories and worlds where like people are dying, and all of these people are dying, and like that has to amount to something. Yeah. And it's, oh my god. So yeah,
I love this game.
Yeah, we have to play the third one. That's it.
We're gonna play Zero Time Dilemma.
So we're gonna play Zero Time Dilemma, and we're going to figure out what happened at the Nevada test site. In the meantime, though, this game was incredibly valid.
That's the thing, is I do want to, like, instead of just driving straight into Zero Time Dilemma, I do want to say Virtue's Last Reward is one of my favorite games of all time. I think it is an astonishing feat of storytelling.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I can't believe they made this thing. Yeah, like, it's so smart. Like, it's so smart. It's so clever in its writing, and how everything links together. Like, they could get all of those, like, tiny little threads to, like, link back to each other. Like, in all of its, like, thematic elements and story elements and mechanics. Both, like, the small mechanics of, like, how the puzzles happen, like, the puzzles themselves.
Yeah, but then how they tie into the greater narrative.
The overall mechanics of the narrative, and this.
It's I think this game has probably the best mastery of setup and payoff I've seen just in a story, because on the grand scheme it's really satisfying, I think, but on the micro scale it's still really, really cool.
Yes.
Simple things like the handcuffs in one room become the murder weapon in another, this and the that and the this and the that. It all kind of comes together into this one really fascinating experience.
Yeah.
And I'm so freaking glad we got to play through it.
I am so happy. Thank you, Gina, for, like, introducing me to this game and this series. It's so good. It is so good. It's one of my favorites now as well. Like, yeah.
I'm really glad.
Everyone should play it. Like, I mean, your experience through unlocking the rooms is different is different for each person. So, and like how you develop that information. So I think it's totally worth, like, replaying. Honestly, I want to replay to see all the shit I missed too.
It's wild.
And,
it is, like, buck wild.
Just see all the hints they drop, like, left and right. Because from what you said, yeah, it sounds like it's still an equally enjoyable game to play through another time, but it's a totally different game.
Very much
so.
so.
You're almost playing a different game. Like,
yeah, it's very different when you're kind of in on the joke of the thing. Like, you understand the puppet master behind the curtain, and you get to see how things play out.
There's a game to that as well.
Very much so. And I really enjoyed this replay of it. It just was freaking fantastic.
So good. So good. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us for this little extra long final episode of Virtue's Last Reward, but it's the way it had to be. And I hope you enjoyed this game as much as we did, because holy shit, we really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time, guys.
Bye, folks.
Thank you.